So to end our session, we came up with an activity, an exercise that we're going to invite people listening to participate in if it feels that that might be of use to you. And we're also going to model it for you. So we have both just done it ourselves. Again, I want to emphasize that I did mine in 5 minutes. And it's not perfect. It might not have been what I would have planned, but it came from the moment. It came in response to your beautiful video. It came in response to getting to know you better through making this project. And I'm excited to share it with you, Diana, and with our viewers, with sort of the gift of that it was my now in relationship to thinking about the deep stories you had shared with me, but also the modes of liberation and activism and self-awareness that your practice is so organized around.
So in this exercise, we'd like to invite you to choose a perspective different from your own of one of the players, agents, or characters you mentioned in your particular crisis in the previous session. So that's the first part, to just choose a perspective different from your own that was active during that time.
And then we invite you to be creative about that, figure out a way to express it for yourself. So you could write that, you could physically embody it, or you could do any other form of creative practice that it simply liberates you to think differently about this crisis that you may have been mulling over for weeks or months or even years.
And we encourage you to not have it perfect. Keep it raw, keep it unpolished. There's a beauty in the vulnerability. But of course, if you do want to spend time on it and craft it, that's also 100% welcome. Because the last bit is that we just encourage you and invite you to share your creation with someone that was with you or knew about your crisis. That is completely optional, up to you. But there's something profound, I think, that could potentially come to be in that exchange of a shared narrative.
So in this case, we are going to share with each other and with you the creative response that we had to each other's short pieces. You can also, if you so choose, share the piece that you make with the hashtag, and it will become part of a larger collection of materials that are being produced through the Doing with Things with Stories project. So I wrote a poem, and I am not a poet, but it's what came to me. It's called The Bench. I am here to hold. I am here to support. I am here in the dark, in the day, in the cold and light. Steady in the rain, the wind blows, and I stand. Sounds of birds, of children, blares of sirens, the whoosh of cars and wind are all the same to me. They are my world, and I share it with you when you choose. I am built by and for humans. I feel your need. I feel your worry. I feel your joy. I'm happy to help, but I'm as much myself when I'm here alone with the trees.
Oh, oh, that was beautiful. Thank you. Yes, I'm happy to also share with you how I chose to embody my free write, and I chose to do movement.
Thank you. I guess what I will say to you is that, like, what I connected to, which also I think was really resonant in your piece, your video that you made for the session one, was that like the body holds, like there was a lot of in that dance that felt like a kind of like almost like a crippling, like a frozen kind of pain, but it immediately transformed into something soft and like there was almost like a tension between two kinds of movement, and then also a repetition. So like I felt, like you said in your piece, that the body both registers trauma and it is the agent for peace. And thinking about it, it's so much different than the bench. Like a lot of what I was trying to say or think about the bench, like the bench doesn't care. The bench is a witness. It doesn't have trauma and it doesn't have, joy. It's just a witness. It holds it. And there's something quite freeing about knowing that, like, the world doesn't care, the things don't care. And there's also something really important to know that the body does. That's what makes us human. And so that's what I saw in your freestyle. And I thank you for sharing it with me, because I know it's like you just did it a few minutes ago.
Such a pleasure. And I think, it's interesting us coming and discussing what this exercise would be like and then actually doing it ourselves. Because I think for me to now really read those words that I'd written and choose a perspective and then try and feel what that person might have been feeling or thinking in that time, it's such an interesting act, an activity to just try and remove myself from the context and tap into something else. And similarly for you, with an object to do that, with an object that's, like you said, it's neutral, it doesn't care, yet it keeps on interacting with people that come sit on it with their baggage and then leave it. Then comes sit someone else with their things and leaves, and the bench stays an inanimate object. So I think even that, the process of giving feelings or emotions or a lack of to an inanimate object is also just such a fascinating activity. So thank you for also giving us a little window into what a bench might be feeling or thinking.
So thank you for taking the time. And it's been a pleasure to get to know you better through this interaction and building this together and thinking about together the role of creativity and embodiment and multiple perspectives as a way to deepen and make more meaningful and more powerful our own stories of crisis.
Just to echo what Alex said, thank you for joining us. We hope something from this particular session resonated with you in some big or small way. And take it forward with whatever way feels right.